time, and I'll be dancing the rest of the night. It is the eve of the NBA Finals, and the Suns are favored at Caesars William Hill to get their very first NBA title. Game 1 Tuesday has the Suns given 5.5 points to the Bucks, and of course, those odds factor in the questions currently surrounding Giannis's health. So let's get to it. The Bucks are getting ready for the finals. And there is a look right there at Phoenix as SC hits the road. So the Bucks practiced today in Phoenix, and they did so without their star. Giannis Antetokounmpo worked out on his own. His status right now is listed as doubtful for Game 1. That's terrible news for the Bucks. Giannis missed the final 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals after suffering a hyperextended left knee in Game 4. Malika Andrews with an update on the Milwaukee team.
Mike Budenholzer said that Giannis Antetokounmpo was able to get on the court for another basketball workout on Monday, but he declined to say exactly what Giannis was able to do, leaving it at just he is making progress. But he's officially listed as doubtful for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and so without him, the Bucks are going to need to continue to try to win by committee, as Chris Middleton detailed.
When Giannis is out there, a lot of times we could just give him the ball and let him go to work and, let him orchestrate a lot of things out there. Without him, we have to do it by committee. But I think guys have done a great job of adjusting with him not out there, in two of the most important games of our season.
You can't replace a player of the caliber of Giannis. It's even more impressive what he does and what he's done since he's been injured, continuing to be vocal, if not even more vocal, pulling players aside individually, addressing the team collectively, making sure he's still present and more than a big part of what we're doing, has instilled confidence in both individual players as well as the team in general.
Now, ultimately, the decision of whether or not Giannis Antetokounmpo plays is going to be a collective one. It comes down to what Mike Budenholzer said, General Manager John Horst says, Giannis himself, as well as the medical staff. But if he is unable to go, the Bucks are going to continue to rely on Chris Middleton. As Drew Holiday said, we rode his shoulders all the way to these finals, and they may need to, if Giannis is unable to play, continue to ride those a little bit longer.
Chris Paul's a featured part of what the Suns want to do. He did practice today during the Suns open session. After Phoenix reached its first final since 1993, CP3 revealed he played with partially torn ligaments in his right hand during that Clippers series. That has not stopped confidence in Paul out of Vegas heading into Game 1. Paul, age 36, currently has the shortest odds to win MVP in his first finals. That according to our friends at Caesars William Hill. Teammate Devin Booker isn't far behind, followed by still recovering Giannis and Chris Middleton, who's at a tempting number himself, plus 650. Those are the only 4 currently with odds shorter than 10-1.
Sports Center on the road is presented by...
Well, get this. No player on the Bucks or Suns have ever won an NBA title. And only one, Jay Crowder, has even played in an NBA Finals. So as seasoned as some of these veteran guys are, like Chris Paul, these guys are actually like kids in a candy store heading into tomorrow's Game 1. And today was a chance to talk about it at Media Day.
Walking into here, seeing Mr. Larry on every poster, it gave me goosebumps.
If there's a souvenir shop, I'll probably get my wallet and buy something.
It's obviously something that millions and millions of people around the world would give a lot to be a part of. The fact that myself and my team and everyone in this organization has an opportunity to play in it is incredible.
Being able to be a kid from Little Rock, Arkansas, being able to represent myself, being able to be in the NBA Finals, it's a dream come true.
This is a kid's game that we play, you know what I mean? So this is a blessing and an opportunity to play this game. I think our team knows when to lock in and when we gotta enjoy the moment and enjoy ourselves.
Everybody counted us out, and the fact that we just keep moving forward, all you can really do is just congratulate us.
Crazy, because every year when you fight to try to get to this moment, taking hits, fighting, and actually be here before a game, it's hard to put it in perspective.
It's kind of the survival of the fittest mindset. I don't think it's really about the throw hands, but the closest thing you can do that without doing it. We're not here to, justify what we're doing to anybody else, for real. We've had goals for this group and aspirations for this group since day one. We're on the constant pursuit to get better.
It's an opportunity for a lifetime, and really just leave everything out there. Believe in yourself because you prepared for it, and most of all, just enjoy it, everything that comes with it.
You work your whole life to get here, and it is finally that time when we wake up in the morning, of course. It's great to have Tim Legler here joining us to help preview the finals. Now let's talk on the Bucs side. With or without Giannis, what will be the important keys for the Bucs to pull off this upset, which some now aren't expecting without him, and try to win this finals legs?
There's a couple, I think, that jump out to me. I think the first is defending Chris Paul, because this is a guy that has the ability to beat you both ways as a playmaker and floor leader and also as a scorer. So I think the Bucs have to pick their poison. He can't have both. And I think for me, that means defending pick and roll with Chris Paul. You can't fall into the habit of defending in every way at the same time. They've got to mix up coverages and try to take away that mid-range step-back jump shot that Chris Paul wants to go to, particularly in pressure situations. And a lot of that's going to fall on the shoulders of Brook Lopez. So he's the second component of that. He has to have an impact on both ends. Defensively, he'll be in the pick and roll a lot. He'll also be a guy that's going to defend the rim, and that's important against a guy like DeAndre Ayton, who is shooting well over 60% from the field in the postseason. So Brook Lopez is important, not only initial point of attack with Chris Paul, but also defending Ayton. And then on the other end of the floor, I love what I've seen out of him lately. With Giannis out, Brook Lopez has upped his profile. He's a guy that's capable of giving you 15 to 20 points and not just camping at the three-point line. He can do it in the paint as well, Ashley. So I want to see an aggressive Brook Lopez, whether Giannis plays or not. If Giannis does play, that's an awful lot for Phoenix to deal with. Giannis, Middleton, Jrue Holiday. You can't guard all of them. So Brook Lopez could have some opportunities. He needs to have an impact on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, there was certainly a turning point in the last series against the Hawks where everyone was like, where did this guy come from? Lopez certainly up in his game. But for the Suns, their winning formula has involved CP3 and Devin Booker. Who do you see as the X factors for the Suns in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, look, they've got a star backcourt. Those guys have to be great. Chris Paul and Booker, they've got to be special each and every game in this series if they want to win. But for me, there are X factors. Their role players, I think, have the best role definition in the NBA. I think they accept it better than anybody else. And they've got a couple of guys in Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges that play both ends of the floor. And it's going to be important in this series because each of them are going to get their shots against Giannis whenever he sees the court. So their initial defense on him and at least making it harder for him. No blow-by, straight line dribble drives. They're going to be up in his chest. They're going to get the major responsibility, try to stay out of foul trouble while they're doing it. But then on the other end of the floor, with all of the attention that's going to be paid to Chris Paul and Devin Booker, there are opportunities to be had at the three-point line. And Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges collectively, every night, 5 to 6 made threes. If they're somewhere in that range or north of that, Phoenix Suns are going to have a great opportunity. Those two players are going to be talked about every single night. They're going to have a huge role in this series, and I think they've got to come up in a big way if the Phoenix Suns want to win a championship.
Yeah, certainly. It's like when we saw LeBron and AD come to life last year in the finals and play their absolute best. They're hard to beat. When you get Devin Booker and CP3 playing this well, it's going to be tough to get past. Tim Legler, we appreciate the insight. Thank you.
Like Maxwell, now let's go to CP3, the point guard.
What's impressed you the most about how Willie Green relates to players?
How to what game?
I'm sorry?
Say that one more time.
What's impressed you the most about how Willie relates to players?
Willie?
Yeah.
Willie was a teammate of mine, and not just a teammate. Say this all the time, Willie like a brother to me. Family. His family, his wife, his kids, everything. And to have him as a coach, I couldn't imagine going through this season without having Willie here. Mm-hmm.
Was there like a specific moment that you really turned to him or that he really helped you out that sticks out to you the most?
Willie just gets it. And when you play in this league, I always talk about that Golden State series when it was Game 7 and his locker was right next to mine, and I didn't have a really good first half, and he was the one who told me, he's like, you got to be more aggressive, see? So he's just always been the guy that I could talk to about anything. He pushes me, and I think for him not only being a good player in his own right, that time he spent with the Warriors on those championship teams, so there's nothing in this league Willie hadn't seen. Yeah.
Dave, you're in the front.
Chris, we're here finally
after a tough season, I think, for everyone involved in the league, and there was some criticism from players, including your friend LeBron, about the way the playoffs played out with so many stars getting injured. Thinking back to the tough conversations you guys had to have had in November to get ready for the season to start in December, what do you think about how everything's played out up to this point?
Man, one thing about our league and its players is everything is always a conversation. There's a ton of guys on the executive committee who are working hard on things right now as we speak, day in and day out, traveling. I wish you guys knew all the things that are going on. So decisions that are made as far as playing or not playing, players are always involved in it. Injuries are always unfortunate. You hate to have them, but just like when we went to the bubble, everything was discussed as far as the players and the full body of players. Everything that's good for this guy and that guy might not be the same for that guy, but everything has always been a conversation, and it's going to continue to be that way. So, if people don't like it, then everybody got the same opportunity to be a part of all these conversations.
Mark in the middle.
Chris, what's the last couple days been like? Have there been any phone calls of note or texts that really meant a lot to you? And when you see the signatures behind you, like the NBA Finals, what does that really mean to finally be here?
It's different. Obviously, having practice here, not at the practice facility, but it's still basketball. I think we all locked into the goal at hand, and not much. Just I don't know. It's weird, no games being on. I usually watch games every day, so that's probably the part that sucks. That's probably the part that sucks the most, but I'd rather be playing than not. But other than that, just life.
Any messages or calls or that meant something to you?
Probably. I don't know. I'm usually on the phone with my kids, day in and day out, seeing what they got going on and just getting ready, practicing, body work, all that different type stuff. So, yeah, I don't even know, Mark.
Focused.
Yeah.
Back left.
Hey, Chris. Milwaukee traded for Drew Holiday to help them get to this point. What about Drew as a player, maybe even as a person, have you seen that maybe made him such a good fit for them to get here?
Drew's just a consummate team guy. Plays the game the right way, defends, can score. My family knows, like my parents, I think, know his family very well and stuff. And he's just, like a good guy, like a great guy, and I'm sure they're excited to have him. And that's what's going to make this series so tough.
Dwayne in the front.
Yeah, Chris, wanted to ask about Devin and DeAndre's start to the series. Like they've had strong starts in first round, second round, and third round. Have you seen something within them in terms of the lock in to start a series? And what does it say about young guys first time out having that at the start of each series?
I honestly have no clue how they done started off every series. I think for us it's just about winning games and making sure that we had the right approach as a team. But those two guys are two leaders of our team. So obviously we go off them, we feed off them. But we expect that not only at the beginning of a series, but in the middle of a series, at the end of a series. Like that's why you're in that role.
Just one more follow-up. Saw you out there today, because obviously we haven't seen you guys in a practice mode. What was having fun with the guys and all that? Devin's talked about still having fun and not letting it be too serious, but you are a serious person. So how have you tried to relax in this moment?
You're not at practice with me every day. You know what I mean? So I think for us it's balance and whatever it is. You always got to remember this is a kid's game that we play. You know what I mean? So this is a blessing and an opportunity to play this game. So there's balance. I think our team knows when to lock in and when we got to enjoy the moment and enjoy ourselves.
We'll go to Palmer on Zoom.
Next, it's going to be Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Chris, you talked about at the end of that Clipper game, you thinking about your son to knock down those free throws. I'm just curious, has he given you any advice going into the finals, or what is he telling you?
Shoot, Chris say everything to me. He tell me when I'm playing well, when I'm playing bad. I think that's probably the most exciting part is my kids are of the age that they know everything that's going on. My daughter, who hasn't been a fan of any of my games my whole career, I think that's probably what touched me after the Western Conference Finals, is to see her with emotions and see her so excited. So, yeah, just enjoying the process and all the different moments of it, but ready to go.
Final question is going to be Jose Romero with the Arizona Republic.
Chris, you played with PJ Tucker. You've seen him over the years. I just want to get your thoughts and your take on his game and what he brings to the Bucks and what he's brought over his career.
Yeah, big piece to their team. Them picking up Tuck, I think, has helped them a lot. Tuck's always just going to do the dirty work. Whatever his team needs him to help his team win, he's always going to do that. So it's a big pickup for them.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
DeAndre will be right up.
Now we hear from number 22 in your program, DeAndre Ayton.